I'm in what has to be one of the most beautiful places in the world, Camp Polaris in Alaska. And I'm joined by Lori Hosey. She's the camp director here. Lori, how long have you been?
This is my 16th year
Okay.
working camps.
Okay. And I understand that this camp is a mission camp.
Yeah, it's a mission in a lot of ways. It's a mission because it's financed by mission money, and it's also a mission spiritually because most of these children either haven't been exposed to the gospel or the Bible and the stories that are in there, or they have and they just need a clearer view of what that means in their lives.
Have you seen a lot of the children's lives changed?
I have, yeah, through the years. Over 16 years, you start out with the ones that were 8 years old then, and they're 24 now. And just watching the different ones just progress and change and become closer to God and be better than what they could have been because of camp.
Can you tell me a couple stories?
I have a staff, for example, that started out when he was 8 going to camp, and he just grew up in the camp, and he was a little helper then, but his background is his mother was alcoholic and he had been adopted by his aunt. And in the process of going to camp and being in a more spiritually nurturing environment, he has become like my right-hand man. He's in his 20s now, and he's just like on it. He's been watching all these years how things work and operate and how to help, and he's the one I can depend on to know where things are at and get it done. Just a right-hand man. Yeah, and I look at him, when I look at him, he's Native. Yeah. And when I look at people that have come out of the system he came out of, there's just a lot of drugs and alcohol that they've fallen into, and I see the drunks on the streets in Anchorage, and I look at this young man and say that's what he would have been if he hadn't had this influence in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that you have a couple of Native Alaskans on your staff, and it really is their camp.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah, they're taking ownership, and they're going to be the leaders of this camp.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, any other stories?
We have, there's just a lot of stories that come out of these. All these kids come with something, and the staff come with something, and while they're here, their lives get impacted by Christ. And, I was thinking of the other day, I have campers that I see now as adults, and I have campers that just come year after year. One of them, their sister had committed suicide, and those 2 boys now, since then, have started going to Adventist schools, even Adventist boarding schools, and attending church, and they still have the struggles of the village life, but now they have tools to combat it.
When they get back.
When they get back, right. Yeah. So it's just rewarding.
Kind of get them through the year, and then the next year you can build on that later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And hear their experiences. They share with us what they ran into and what tools they use that they got at camp to combat that.
That must be really rewarding.
It is. It's just like, buildings or no buildings, our lives are complete when we hear that the mission of this camp is being fulfilled. The buildings they add huge, but just
you don't want to lose those.
You don't want to lose those, but it's just that it's going forward in the hearts and lives of these people. It's not about the buildings, although they're wonderful, but it's about the hearts and lives that have been changed through this camp. And I have one in town now. He's working at the airport.
Yeah.
Teens. He comes out and he contributes back to the camp now. He'll take my staff out on tubing rides because now he can drive his own boat, and it's just giving back. Camp. And he comes back and he says, "What can I do to contribute? Yeah. Can I bring you something?" One of them brought firewood one time, and it's like they're giving back and they're keeping track of what's going on, and other kids getting what they need, and
they want this new generation to have what they've had.
Yeah.
Because I understand that the grandparents came as kids, and then the parents, and then the grandchildren.
Because they want to keep that going.
Yeah.
And what's cool is that they're not just here to help meet the needs of the campers. They're like looking out after my staff now. Like, you guys have what you need out there. Can I bring you anything from town?
Now.
Yeah, I guess we're in. So it's exciting.
Do you have a theme?
We have a theme this year. Every year we have a different theme. This year is royalty. And the theme is what we're trying to instill is that we're all children of God, whether we accept that or not. He's our Father, and He's going to love us as His own children. And because He's God of the universe, biggest of all, our dad is actually the biggest, greatest king ever, and that makes us royalty. And so we want to learn to live like we're royal. in the sense that he came as a mission to save because of his royalty, and we want to instill that too, and that you are valuable and you are precious, and no matter what anybody else says or thinks or does, you're a valuable person. In fact, we had a camper that just recently came to camp feeling like nobody loves me. I'm not valued. There's no purpose in this life for me. And by the end of the week, she was sitting we have a banquet, a royal banquet on Sabbath, and she was sitting there saying, you know what, God loves me. And I do feel royal. I feel like a princess.
And this was real. This was a conviction.
Yeah, it just kind of like changed her view of herself and how God feels about her, and who cares what the rest of the world thinks. God loves me, and I'm valuable.
How they see each other.
Oh yeah, the way they treat each other, instead of just like someone to pound around on it. It's like, I got to be careful. They're royal too now. They're God's children too. I know their dad, and he's pretty powerful, and I don't want to mess with that. But
that's fun.
But just knowing that everybody's valuable.
Yeah.
It's exciting, and for them to get that concept and take it back to wherever they came from is a powerful tool. It's a powerful tool.
Lori, it's been a privilege and a lot of fun to be able to spend a couple days here with you and your staff and meeting the campers. Viewers at home, I want to thank you for supporting this mission camp with your funds and with your prayers. I ask that you continue to remember Camp Polaris and its mission in this community in the future. And if you would like to learn more about mission projects like this, please visit AdventistMission.org. Thank you.